So, hello and welcome to Chapter 6 of the PMP preparation course. Chapter 6, which corresponds to Chapter 6 in the PMBOK, Project Schedule Management. Right, in this chapter, we will tackle processes through which we will learn about how to define project activities, how to put the activities in logical sequencing activities, how to estimate activity durations, and ultimately how to develop the project schedule. This is as far as schedule planning is concerned. Then there is a process tackling schedule monitoring and controlling, which is schedule control or control schedule as the process is called. And we will learn some schedule optimization techniques as well in the process. Right, so this is the knowledge area that deals with the processes that ensure timely completion of the project. And the title of this chapter is one of the things that changed from the 5th edition to the 6th edition. I just thought to mention it to you. It used to be called Project Time Management, and now, I don't know, it's a bit philosophical, but PMI feels that, when I say PMI feels, it means that PMI is practicing professionals, the community of practicing professionals, us, you guys. We feel that project time management is not an adequate name. Since we cannot manage time, we can manage the schedule. Time will pass no matter what, in the same rhythm, no matter what. But what we can manage is the project schedule, and hence the title of the chapter was changed from project time management to project schedule management. Right. The first process in this knowledge area is plan schedule management. Much like plan scope management and plan cost management, these processes are intended at producing the general rules, guidelines, and, if you may, policies regarding the schedule, how the schedule should be created, maintained, and controlled. That's the aim of this process. The output of this process, as you see here on the screen, is what we call the schedule management plan. And much like the scope management plan, which does not contain the project scope, and the cost management plan, which does not contain the project budget, the schedule management plan here does not contain the project schedule. Rather, it outlines the guidelines, the policies, in light of which the schedule will be created, the schedule will be defined and created, maintained, and controlled. And we will see in the subsequent slides some of the elements that you might expect to see in a schedule management plan. Again, for all practical purposes, so you can find a template of schedule management plans on the wider internet or on the PMI's Book of Forms. You can get it from pmi.org. Also, from a practical standpoint, the schedule management plan in many cases is developed on a corporate level, and your project will have to respect and abide by those corporate rules in regard to schedule creation, maintenance, and control. Nevertheless, there are tailoring considerations here. You might tailor, you might think, you might want to tailor your schedule management plan and deviate a little bit from the corporate rules. But again, you have to approve that from the proper approval authorities in the organization. Right. The list of inputs, I will not travel through it. We have covered everything on it in previous videos. Project charter, the project management plan, the enterprise environmental factors, and the organizational process assets. We've talked about them over and over again. Uh, the tools, of course, you will need expert judgment to put together such plans, analyze all the data that is in the inputs, and you will conduct meetings in order to do so. So what's worth knowing here uh, is also what goes into a schedule management plan. Things like project schedule model development. So what will the schedule model be like? Are we going to express the schedule as a Gantt chart, or as a network diagram, or as a resource loading diagram, or a combination of all, or a combination of some? So what is the schedule model going to be like? So this is one of the things you decide in the schedule management plan. Level of accuracy, are we going to schedule, and the units as well, units of measure, are we going to schedule by the day, the week, the minute, so depending on the nature of the project. Uh, Organizational procedures links, so which other procedures in the organization is this linked to? How the schedule will be maintained, because the schedule is a very fragile, if you ask me, from a practical point of view here. The schedule is a very fragile creature. If you don't maintain it rigorously and regularly, and in short intervals, I mean periodically, it might very quickly become unuseful, become kind of obsolete, or the facts, I mean, doesn't reflect the facts anymore. So uh, who's going to maintain the schedule, at what intervals, in what shape and form, is also decided, or should be decided, in the schedule management plan. What are the control thresholds? So, for example, when it comes to schedule change control, so what are the control thresholds? Up to how much time can the project manager decide? So if there is a schedule slippage, or if there is a change that will cause a schedule slippage of up to a certain threshold, this will be at the discretion of the project manager to decide upon. At another higher threshold, he will need the sponsor's approval. At another higher threshold, maybe the change control board should convene. So these are control thresholds that should be defined also in the schedule management plan. Rules of performance measurement. How can we measure the schedule performance? We will learn things like the schedule variance, the schedule performance index in the next chapter. We'll come to learn that. So how these parameters will be measured, and what are the rules of measurement, and so on, is also decided in the schedule management plan. Reporting formats. So how are we going in this project to report on the schedule, and the schedule performance is decided here as well.